During the war, because of possible landings, and the Canadian Army had 2 soldiers at night. Everyone in St. Thomas's had to have, if you were 16 or above, you had to have an identification card. And if you came through at night, you had to show the soldier. There was a soldier by the 7th or 8th on 630 St. Thomas line. There was another one in by the school in St. Thomas's. 2 soldiers all night long. Everyone who went by was stopped. And I think that was 1942, because when the ships were getting sunk, I remember that quite well.
So talking about those ships, because that's what I want to talk to you about, because you told me a story about you were standing on the cliff.
Well, my father was in town, and my mother couldn't control us yet. We had a big family.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, the shell started. It was at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. So we ran around the cliff. We had seaside property in St. Thomas's.
So you heard the explosion, did you?
Well, the shells were passing over St. Thomas's. What happened was, a French ship got away. And she got in, she started shelling. Free French one. And they couldn't get the guns down on the bay. So they put them on the land. And neither one struck her. They went up, I could hear them whistling. And my father said to me, if they're whistling, don't matter, they're gone. And, an old guy picked up one by Sharps on top of the road, on Torvin Road, put in the cart and took it into the Navy, the HMCS Avalon. Brought it down and brought it to him. But because the home defense on Below Island, which right where the cops are now, the cops place on Below, they couldn't get the guns down enough.
To shoot at the submarine. Is that what they were
trying? Submarines were in the bay.
Yeah.
And they brought the net afterwards, after Americans came. Americans came, they set up a place to shell on top of the hill there, on top of the road there. And they could shell the bay straight out to the bay from where Flannery's. Well, we just sat and watched them. My mother finally got us in the house. She barred the door. The shells were flying around. Sorry. She barred the door. I'm always afraid if they ever develop that Clark Road, it was called Moonlight Drive now. It's called Moonlight Reach Clark. I'm always afraid there might be bombs up there never went off. There might be shells in the marsh over there. I'm always afraid of that. Because I think there's shells up there now once. They didn't blow up, so they must have just bitched in the back.
What's the name of the road?
Moonlight Drive. The extension of Moonlight Drive.
Moonlight Drive.
That was called Clark's Road. There were too many Clarks. The fire department wanted to change the name.
I would have expected that in London, but never in Newfoundland. So to have shells unexploded.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Possibility.
Yeah, well, they were coming from Below Island, see. And the ship, the Free French ship, she was like a saucy cracky. My mother said she's like a cracky. Come out around the corner and boom, red, and then back in the valley. And they were shooting at nothing really. And the ship